Hello everyone. You are going to study experiment in the subject synchronous and induction machines lab, which is 11th experiment. Plot the V and inverted V curve of synchronous motor. I, Rashmiyan, Assistant Professor, EEE Department, New Horizon College of Engineering. So what is this V and inverted V curve of a synchronous motor experiment? Synchronous motor, you know that the V and inverted V curve, when you plot a graph of two quantity, you will get a curve which resembles the alphabet V, and the one more curve, when you plot a graph of two quantity, you will get inverted V curve. So aim of the experiment to plot V and inverted V curves of synchronous motor. Apparatus required: voltmeter to measure voltage, moving iron, a range of 0 to 500 volts we are using in order to measure the voltage between that range. An ammeter, two ammeters are using, one is a moving iron moving coil, that is AC and DC, 0 to 2 amps and 0 to 5 amps range ammeters are using. A rheostat of wire wound, of one is of 290 ohm, another one is 14 ohm and 750 ohm. Three wire wound rheostats are using. And tachometer in order to measure the speed, which is a digital meter, and watt meter of unity power factor, electrodynamometer type we are using. And in order to connect the circuit, we need a connecting wires. As the experiment is on synchronous motor, we have two machine set. One is AC generator, another one is a DC motor set. The both are coupled and kept. So in order to do the experiment, first we should note down the nameplate details. The generator details, what we required is rated voltage of 415 volts, which is available in the lab, and the rated current of 4.2 amps and the speed of 1500 rpm, and the field excitation current is of 220 volts and current of 1.4 amps. Next, if you look at the details required for DC motor, is a 5 HP motor, and which is of 220 volts and 1500 rpm. Whatever the details we required to conduct the experiment, we have to note down all those things. So circuit diagram. So this is the circuit diagram, experimental setup which is available in the lab. So here you can see one machine is a motor, another machine is a generator. So this synchronous machine connection explanation from the machine to the source of three-phase supply I will explain first, and later in detail we go with the circuit diagram. So here is the synchronous machine, that's called one. The synchronous machine, the three-phase machine, RYB, three terminals, which is a star connected system. So RYB terminals are available here, should be provided with a three-phase AC supply. It's here. The three-phase AC supply, the voltage is 440 volts 50 hertz is applied to the RYB terminals. Could not apply directly to the machine. I used one TPST switch, followed by fuse, a protecting device, and using one more device is a starter. The synchronous motor starter is required, so we used one starter also. Then again the terminals are R, Y, B. So now I can connect RYB to the synchronous motor. Before connecting that motor, I need to know what is the current flowing and what is the voltage between the phases and what is the power consumed. So I need voltmeter, ammeter and wattmeter. So connection of the voltmeter between the phase also of a range 0 to 500 or 600 volt, and ammeter of 0 to 10 amps is required. Both are AC. Next, a wattmeter of unity power factor is connected. So I will explain from R point R, the RYB, the R phase is connected to ammeter, ammeter to wattmeter, current coil to the R phase of the machine, and Y to the B, should be RYB, and then another wattmeter current coil to the machine, another terminal, and the voltage coil is connected as shown in the circuit of the wattmeter. Next, for the excitation of field, magnetic field of the machine is the field, a separate DC excitation is required, and that separate DC excitation is connected to the field terminals via rheostat and ammeter. Why rheostat is required? In order to limit the current, either by increase or decreasing the rheostat value, we can vary the current flowing through it. In order to observe whether the current is raised or decreased, I need one ammeter which is connected in the line of rheostat. So supply to rheostat, rheostat to ammeter, ammeter to field, field back to DC excitation. So this is the connection, the machine, synchronous machine. Here is the three-phase supply, here is the voltmeter connection, here is the ammeter connection, here is the wattmeter 1 and wattmeter 2 here. Okay, in between we need one lamp load connection. In between machine to supply we need one lamp load connection. Why, I will explain later. A lamp load, 6 lamp load set along with switches, TPST switches with both the sides. Next, about the field excitation, just now I explained, to ammeter, ammeter to rheostat to supply, supply back to the field. So this connection is explained in the previous. And next is the motor. So here you are using two machines, one is a motor, another one is a synchronous motor, which later act as a generator. Both the machines are coupled here, you can see. Next, come back to the connections of motor. So here is the motor connection, motor ammeter AA, can see here AA, the field coil ZZ. So we have to provide supply for this terminals, ammeter and field terminals. So here is the supply available. The supply is connected through DPST switch, provided fuse for the protection purpose, and it is followed by a connecting wire. The connecting wire is connected to ammeter via rheostat. So here is the rheostat. Again, in order to add the resistance or either to limit the current, for that purpose we are using a rheostat, and from the rheostat it is connected to armature of the motor. From the armature again back to the supply through connecting wires. Next, the field coil we have to provide the supply. So from the same positive point of the supply, through a connecting wire connected to rheostat. Even field coil is provided with a rheostat in order to limit the current or to add the resistance or to achieve the value either in current or speed, we need a rheostat. So supply is connected to rheostat, and then the rheostat to field and field back to supply. So this about the circuit connection. So you understood the synchronous motor connection and another motor connection. And here I will explain the lamp connection. From a wattmeter through a switch, a lamp load is connected. Again from the lamp through a switch, it is connected to three-phase AC supply. In detail, we will explain while conducting the experiment. So look at the procedure to conduct this experiment. This procedure, what I am going to explain now, is a brief, short procedure. Later in detail I will explain the procedure. So connect the circuit as per the circuit diagram. Yes. Next, resistance in the field of the motor should be kept at minimum position. Close TPST switch. Start the synchronous motor with the help of a starter, making the starter position to stud 1, position 1. Then make the starter position to stud 2, varying the knob of starter. Note down the readings of voltmeter, ammeter, wattmeter. So once if we start the connection, start the machine, the initial readings and whatever the operated value, operated experiment, we should note down voltmeter, ammeter, wattmeter values in each step. By varying the variable rheostat from maximum to minimum position, note down the readings. Bring back the field rheostat to minimum position. Synchronous motor starter to initial position and switch off the supply. While turning off, we have to bring back to the initial positions. Next, plot the curve of field current IF versus armature current IA. You will get a curve. What is that curve? You will get one curve. So what is that curve? And plot the graph of IF versus power factor. You will get one more curve, and what is that curve? If you plot this IF versus IA, you will get a curve which resembles V. Here if you plot, you will get a alphabet type of curve which resembles an inverted V. That's why the name plot V and inverted V curve of synchronous motor. Name of the experiment. Before conducting the experiment, precautions should be taken. Now I am explaining. That is, avoid loose connection and parallax error while taking the reading. Yes. Starter should be kept in the position 1 initially. We should check before we start. Any measuring instrument errors are there, adjust it to 0 error. So this is a short procedure. Now in detail I will explain the procedure. You have studied about the V and inverted V curve concept in your theory of synchronous and induction machine subject. So here you go. Make the connection as per the circuit diagram. Yes. Before going for synchronization, what we have to do, you see here, that is switch on the supply to DC motor DP/DT switch. Start the motor using 3-point starter. Starter is required, and increase the speed to the synchronous speed. Once you start the motor, if you check the speed of the DC motor, it will show some value. Say for example 1200 or 1300 anything. So that telling increase the speed to the synchronous speed by varying motor field rheostat. Motor field rheostat. One rheostat is at armature, one rheostat is the field. So vary the motor field rheostat. So it reaches the synchronous speed. What is the synchronous speed? We observed while taking nameplate details, that is 1500 RPM. We have to adjust field rheostat until it reaches 1500 RPM. Here vary this rheostat until you get 1500 RPM here. Next we will think of synchronization procedure. Next, procedure 4. Synchronous machine was synchronized by dark lamp method by satisfying the following condition. What is dark lamp method? Okay. So the three conditions we have to check here by using dark lamp method. The first condition is you have to check about the phase sequence of alternator, and other alternator must be same. Say for example, if you are using a phase sequence of RYB, that should be same with the other alternator. That you should check by using dark lamp method. So what is dark lamp method? Recall the concept. Next, the line voltage of the alternator and other alternator must be same. Yes, you should check for the second condition. Next, the supply frequency of alternator and other alternator must be same. Frequency should be same. So if we check for all these three conditions, we can switch on the supply to the alternator field and vary the rheostat so that the generated voltage is nearly equal to rated value. This is the synchronization procedure. Next, once if you check for the synchronization condition, close the TPST switch, note on the three-phase supply voltage. Three-phase supply voltage where in the three-phase supply machine. So adjust the field rheostat of alternator and make the generator terminal voltage equal to three-phase supply voltage. By adjusting field rheostat of alternator, make the generator terminal voltage equal to the three-phase supply voltage. After doing this, now the lamp will flicker in sequence. Now we should start observe the lamp flicker, how it will glow. Procedure 8. If the lamps are flickering uniformly, that is all the lamps become dim or bright simultaneously. All the lamps become dim simultaneously or bright simultaneously. Phase sequence is wrong. The first condition is not satisfied. It is wrong. Then what we have to do? We have to switch off TPST and DPST switch first, then interchange the two terminals of three-phase supply. Say R, Y, B you connected. Interchange this terminal, Y terminal to this side and R terminal to that side. If you observe, lamps are dim simultaneously or bright simultaneously, the phase sequence is wrong. Then interchange two terminals. before changing the terminals, you should make sure TPST, DPST switches are off. It should be off. After interchanging, if the flickering is, turn on the TPST and DPST switches. If the flickering is so fast, the motor field rheostat is adjusted very slowly so that the frequency of flickering is convenient. And the synchronization switch is closed when two lamps show maximum brightness and the another lamp is dark. We can close the synchronization switch when two lamps are with maximum brighted and another last lamp is at dark. This is make sure the synchronization is done. Now if you observe the wattmeter reading, it will read 0 value. Still not, power consumption is not started. Next, so what happens after synchronization? The synchronous machine start working as a generator. Now decrease the field current of DC motor so that wattmeter reads a specified output. Decrease the field current of DC motor so the wattmeter reads a specified output. When you are decreasing that field current of DC motor, already synchronous machine is in a generator mode, and while reading the wattmeter reading, you should take care of the multiplication factor. Not only wattmeter, either ammeter or voltmeter, is there any multiplying factor? Say for example, what terminal you connected, you should check any multiplying factor 1 or 2. Should not forget multiplying that multiplying factor. Then note down wattmeter reading, even voltmeter reading and ammeter reading as per the recording tabular column, and increase the synchronous machine field current IF by adjusting rheostat so that ammeter reading IA shows the rated current. This will be explained in the video of the experiment. So keep it in mind, once the wattmeter reads the value, increase the synchronous machine field current, that is field current of the machine, by adjusting the rheostat so the ammeter reads the rated current. Next, once the ammeter reads the rated current, decrease the IF gradually. IF means field current. It is not if, it is IF. Decrease IF gradually and note down IA each time. We can see that IA decreases from rated current, reaches minimum value, and again increases and reaches rated value. So you might have heard about the concept while studying V and inverted V curve, that is about over excitation and under excitation. So based on that concept, so if we decrease IF gradually, note down IA each time, and we can see that IA decreases from rated current and reaches minimum, and again increases and reaches the rated value. The watt at the time, at each reading, wattmeter reading should be same while taking each reading. Otherwise, vary the motor field rheostat. So in this procedure, each time you have to note down IA, IF, voltmeter value, that is voltage, and total power, that is W1 and W2. So after recording the tabular column, you can plot the graph of IA versus IF. If you plot that graph, you will get a curve which resembles the alphabet V. Hence the name of the experiment, V curve of synchronous motor. And find out the power factor at each reading. Find out the power factor of each reading. Then plot the graph of power factor versus IF field current. You will get one more curve. If you plot the graph that resembles inverted V. Now, after readings, we have to switch off the machine by doing the reverse procedure, procedure 6. Now increase field current so that the armature current is minimum. Increase the motor field current so that the wattmeter reads 0. And bring back the synchronous speed of the motor to initial speed of the motor. Then switch off and draw the graph using graph sheet. So go through the procedure. Next, we'll see the conduction of the experiment watching this video. Myself Rashmi, AAA Department, NHCE. Today you are going to learn about V and inverted V curves of synchronous motor. So apparatus required are rheostat. The rheostat of 290 ohm capable to handle a current of 2 to 8 amps, and 14 ohms rheostat. Both are wire wound resistors, and this is capable of withstanding 12 amps current. Also we need voltmeter 0 to 500 volts, MI moving iron, and also ammeter of 0 to 5 amps and 0 to 10 amps. We need 2 ammeters. And we need wattmeter, AC ammeter and DC ammeter power. And also one more rheostat we are using is 750 ohm. The capability of current is 1 to 2 amps. And also this is a DC motor we required for the experiment, and a synchronous motor. And the nameplate details of both the machines, if we see, the required voltage for DC motor is 220 volts and current of 19 amps, and the rated speed is 1500. And for the alternator or synchronous machine, the nameplate details is mentioned here as per the requirement. The rated speed is 1500 rpm, and the voltage of 415 volts, amps of 4.2 amps. Both the machines are placed in the same level so that we can able to achieve the synchronize between the DC motor and the synchronous generator. So this V and inverted V curve study for a synchronous motor is required because when we are studying the synchronous motor performance, we will observe this V and inverted V curves when we plot the graph of field current versus armature current, and also field current versus the power factor. So here if you look at the theory part of the experiment, when a synchronous motor driving a constant mechanical load, variation in the field current varies power factor as well as armature current drawn by the motor. Except for small variation in copper loss due to increase in the armature current and iron loss due to variation in excitation of input power will also remain approximately constant for constant output. Curves drawn between this armature current and field current for different loads are known as V curves. Similarly, the variation of power factor with variation in DC excitation for constant loads gives inverted V curves. Let's see by doing the connection of the apparatus about the V and inverted V curves of the motor. So the first connection is we need a DC source for the DC motor what we are using. So this is the positive point of the supply which is connected to rheostat to limit the current, and from the rheostat it is connected to the field of the DC motor which is mentioned as Z and ZZ, field winding of the DC motor. So I repeat, positive is connected to the rheostat of 290 ohm
in order to increase the speed also.
From the rheostat it is connected to the field winding of the machine. From the field winding it is back to the negative of the supply. So as shown in the circuit diagram, I connected supply to the field winding of the DC motor, with in between a rheostat is also connected. Now the field winding is connected. The next connection is armature part of the machine. So again from the supply the positive terminal is connected to armature winding, and then armature winding back to the negative of the supply. In between from positive to armature you have to use the rheostat. So that rheostat is 14 ohm with a 12 amps current of rheostat is connected in between the armature. So here the rheostat we connected for the armature of the DC motor is in maximum position, because in order to limit the current, when I turn on the supply, maximum current will flow on the load motor which burns the winding. That's why we have to add additional resistance initially. Next, the DC motor is going to connect it to a synchronous motor, or we can say coupling, which you can see here. We have connected DC motor to the synchronous motor, and you can observe the coupling between those two motors in the shaft. So here first I have to give supply to the field winding part of the synchronous motor. As I use the supply, DC current will flow, and DC motor DC current will come. So that so for the synchronous motor field winding also, this is a DC supply. So this DC supply is connected to rheostat here, and from the rheostat I have connected to the field winding of the synchronous motor. From the field winding again it will back to the negative of the supply. So here when you connect it to the supply to the field winding, I need to measure the current. So directly I should not give the positive terminal to the rheostat and the field. I have to introduce in between ammeter. That's why supply to the rheostat and rheostat to the ammeter of 0 to 2 amps. DC ammeter I am using. From ammeter it will go to field and field back to negative. So DC motor coupled to synchronous motor, and the field winding is supplied with a DC supply via rheostat and 1 ammeter to measure. Next is armature part of the synchronous motor. In armature part of the synchronous motor, anyhow this machine is a 3-phase RYB, but in the experiment we are using the letter ABC instead of RYB. First we will see the connection from synchronous armature part of the machine.
to the wattmeter connection, then I will explain in the experimental kit. So here R is connected to wattmeter. Here we need 2 wattmeters in order to measure the 3-phase power. So wattmeter 1 and wattmeter 2. R is connected to wattmeter 1 M point and B is connected to M point of wattmeter 2. Both the wattmeter MC is shorted. Next, the voltage voltage point V of the wattmeter is short with the wattmeter 2. Wattmeter 1 V and wattmeter 2 V is shorted and it is connected to the point of Y. So we need to measure power. We need 2 wattmeters and we have to measure one of the line current. So an ammeter is required and ammeter is AC. That AC ammeter is connected to Y of the armature. Next, this L point of the wattmeter is connected to TPST switch, and from the ammeter to the TPST switch, and from the L point of the wattmeter 2 to the TPST switch, and later we will connect the load. Let's see the connection in the board. So again, in the circuit board, as I told, R, Y, B, here it is labeled as A, B, C. So A is connected to wattmeter 1. This is the wattmeter 1 M point, and we are using wattmeter of 10 amps by connecting parallelly these terminals. So M from R it is connected to M, MC shorted, and then this L is connected to TPST as we saw in the circuit diagram. Next, wattmeter 2, the M point is connected to R, Y, B. So this point is connected to M of the wattmeter 2, MC is shorted, and L is connected to TPST. Next, another R, Y, B. So here it is A, B, C. That C is connected to ammeter. As I told, I have to measure line current. So I am using ammeter here. So one of the line is connected to ammeter, and ammeter is connected to TPST. Also, the same ammeter point is shorted to the voltage point of the wattmeter, so that 2 wattmeter is connected to measure 3-phase power. So after connecting wattmeter to TPST, the other side of the TPST, which is having 3 terminals, should be connected by this 3-phase 440 volts AC supply. See, this R wire is connected to here, and Y, B is again connected to Y, B point of the TPST switch. So from this RYB connection, again this R, Y and B is connected to the lamp load point. Here lamp we have taken as a load. We can use motor as a load also. So from to the other points of the load, we have to connect from this side of the TPST, where actually the wattmeter wire from the wattmeter R, Y, B has connected. From those terminals, we have to connect it to the other point of the load.
It's not load, it's a lamp set.
Okay, so this is connected to the synchronous motor RYB terminal, and this side is connected to the 3-phase AC supply 440 volts. So now we'll see the conduction in order to get V and inverted V curve of a synchronous motor. So what is the procedure? We'll see now by turning on the equipment. So here there is a MCB point we have to turn on, so that the DC supply will be turned on to the machine point. So close 220 volts supply. So when you close it, the back side you can see the machine which is running here. So you can observe the DC motor is now running at 1300 RPM. We have to set this speed to 1500 because the rated RPM is 1500 for the machine. So initially we kept the armature with the external resistance, and this external resistance is in cutout position, mainly in order to reduce the armature current. And field current also is there. Field winding is also provided with external resistance, but resistance is at 0 point. Here in the armature, the resistance is included in order to avoid the more current flow to the armature. Now I will vary this armature resistance. That means I will reduce the armature resistance so that I can achieve the speed of 1500. So we are reducing the armature resistance, so you can get the sound of the machine is also changed. That means the speed which was initially 1300 has increased to around 1400 RPM, but actually rated speed is 1500. In order to achieve that 1500 RPM, now I will include some resistance to the field winding. So when I am started including that resistance, I can achieve that speed of the machine as 1500. So this DC motor is coupled to the AC synchronous motor, and you can see the speed until I get 1500. I am varying the field winding so that you can see the tachometer which is reading 1500. Initially, which was at 0, when I varied this much of resistance, I achieved 1500 RPM. So now I will close this DC supply. When I close this DC supply, it is nothing but my synchronous motor stator winding start getting the DC voltage. So excitation is provided to stator of the synchronous motor. So at the time, the field winding of the synchronous motor, the current is 0.25 into 1. So 0.25 current is read by the ammeter. Now I have to match this supply voltage, that is 3-phase 440 volts AC supply. Whether it is 440 volts is received or not, I have to check that voltage from the AC supply. So by using voltmeter, I will check whether 440 volts is received or not by turning on the 3-phase AC source. So now the light is on, so you can check whether the 440 volts is achieved or not. So here you can see in the wattmeter it is showing 110. The maximum scale I connected is 500. So what I have to do? Exactly 110 into 4. So it is not 110 into 4, it is 440 volts. So yes, I am receiving the supply voltage of 440. Whatever the voltage I am going to receive, that much voltage I have to match with my synchronous motor. Then only I can synchronize the machine. So once if I receive that 440 volts, I have to turn off that AC supply. I have to turn off because I have to close this switch first. I have to close this switch first, that is a synchronous motor switch. Then I have to close the supply switch. That's why initially I check this 440 volts. Once if I check the voltage, what I am receiving, whether 440 or 435 volts, I have to check. Once if I check, I will close this switch and I will try to match that voltage by using this rheostat. Let's see. To check that voltage, I have to connect the voltmeter to the phase A and phase B. Now I am closing the switch. Once if I close, I have to bring the voltage to 440 volts. Now I will see what is the voltage read by phase A and B. It is 60 into 4, which is not 440 volts. It is 60 into 4, which is not 440 volts. Now I have to make this to 440 volts by varying this. So in order to achieve that 440 volts, I am varying the field resistance, which is a 750 ohm, rheostat. I am reducing the resistance. So when I am reducing the resistance, you can observe the voltmeter, more magnetic field is created. So excitation voltage capable of reading 440 volts. So exactly at 110 into 4. So now you can check at this resistance value, the voltmeter read 440 volts. The synchronous machine achieved that 440 volts. I will close the main supply switch and I will close this 3-phase 440 volts. Now both the voltages are synchronized. So once when I close the switch, you can observe that lamp loads, it's glowing and reducing. If it is in this state, we can say the phase sequence also correct.
Condition 2.
If the phase sequence is not correct, this lamp will glow in rotation. Once this will glow, once this will glow, later this will glow, and remaining this will go dim and this will glow. So in a rotation the bulb will glow. But now you can observe all the bulbs are glowing at a time and become dim at a time. So nothing but my phase sequence RYB is also correct. So now we matched the voltage 440 volts. Now here I verified phase sequence is also matched. Now I have to verify frequency matching. To verify whether the frequency match or not, I have to use the field resistance of DC motor. By varying this field resistance, so I reduce the field resistance. So what happened to the bulb? It fully almost it is glowing very less. So this says the frequency is also matched. So three things we have to match here. One is voltage, another one is phase sequence, another one is frequency. If frequency is not matched properly, the bulb will glow dim and dip very fastly. You can observe now. So frequency has not matched. So once if you match the frequency, you can observe there we are using the resistance, field resistance. So somewhere you have to move that resistance point and make your bulb to dim and dip very slowly. So it's nothing but achieve the frequency matching also. Once you achieve the frequency matching, you have to close this TPST switch. So after closing TPST switch, we have to take down the reading so that we can get V and inverted V curves of synchronous motor. How to take the readings? So now the voltage is 440, which is nothing but the overexcitation volt. So to take the reading, we'll see what is the tabular. So we have to record these values. One is the voltage value, another one is the field current, another one is armature current, wattmeter 1, wattmeter 2 value, and by calculation we have to find out the power factor. Okay, so what you have to record is field current, armature current, voltage as of now it is 440 volts. So while taking the reading, what will be the voltage we'll see, and W1 wattmeter 1, wattmeter 2, and the total power and the power factor for V curve. Aim of the experiment is to plot V and inverted V of synchronous motor. Now we'll see what are the values we have to note down to get V curve. So now by varying this rheostat, that is a field rheostat, I am reducing the field current. So now what is the current? It's 0.65 into 1. So this current I will reduce, and I will note down what is the armature current here. So you can see we are reducing the field current, which is nothing but under excitation. So note down around 4 values from 0.6 to 0.2. From 0.6 to 0.2, around 4 values. In each step note down IF, that is field current. So now it is 0.5 field current. So armature current is 1.5, wattmeter 1 and wattmeter 2. Actually one of the wattmeter will kick back, so you have to reverse the switch. So whatever the values you are going to note it down from wattmeter 1, it's all negative values. So you have to take negative values of the wattmeter. Here you can see the first reading W1 is minus 160 because wattmeter will kick back. So reverse the switch and take down the negative values and note down W2 also. The similar way, each step reduce the value and note down IF, field current, and note down armature current, and note down W1 and W2 within 0.6 to 0.2. So this is called under excitation. So when you plot these values, you will get V curve of synchronous motor. So now I took the last reading for 0.2. So I noted around 4 values from 0.6 to 0.2. So you can observe as the field current reduces, armature current increased, and voltage value should be maintained constant. That time when we read the voltage was 388, but now it is 440 only. The voltage is maintained at 440, and now this is in under excitation point, the rheostat. Now we are going to do over excitation. That means increase the field current. In each step of increasing the field current 0.2 to 0.3, 0.3 to 0.4, 0.4 to 0.5, we have to note down IF voltage in tabular column 2. I am telling, in tabular column 2 we have to create two tabular column, one for V tabular column, another one for inverted V. So in the tabular column 2, note down IF, IL or IA, note down the voltage, note down W1 and W2. Do the steps for around 4 values until you achieve 0.6. That is, you are moving under excitation to over excitation of the field current. So once you bring back the rheostat to the actual field current value, we can able to plot the inverted V curve of synchronous motor. So now after taking all the values, we have to switch off the apparatus in a reverse direction. So what was initially we did, we closed the TPST switch. So open TPST switch. So when you open TPST switch, it will glow. We have to turn off the AC source, main supply, then open the this switch in the board. Then after that, if you remember, I increased the voltage for 440 volts, which was initially 116, which was initially 240 volts. I just made it by reducing the resistance. I brought it to 440 volts. So now I have to bring back this rheostat
to the initial position,
to the maximum, increase the resistance. And next, once if I increase, I have to open this switch, synchronous motor switch, and after this turn off the DC supply and bring back the resistance, field resistance to minimum. Next, armature resistance to maximum, because it will take more current. So we have to bring back the armature resistance to maximum. Then turn off the main DC supplies. Thank you.
So as you saw the video, you have to note down these values, you have to tabulate the values for a set of values while doing the experiment during under excitation and over excitation. So find out, plot the graph of this one, armature current IA and IF. If you plot the graph, you will get the curve of IA versus IF. You will get a curve of V. And next, one more tabular column during another excitation. And if you plot the graph of that IF versus power factor, you have to calculate power factor in the second procedure. That is while bringing the field current from minimum to again maximum value. In that, if you plot a graph of IF versus calculated power factor value, you will get inverted V curve. For power factor calculation, formula is there, that is P by root of P divided by root 3 VLIL. From that formula you calculate the power factor and then you plot the graph. So one is a V curve, another one is a inverted V curve. So aim of the experiment is to plot V and inverted V of a synchronous machine. This performance we observed when we plot the graph of these two quantities. Thank you.